As we walk through the shadow of Holy Week, we find ourselves in the crowded courtyards of the temple. The air is thick with tension. It's the final week of Jesus' earthly life, and his opponents are closing in. In this temple encounter, we come across two seemingly different scenes. A complex theological debate about the resurrection, and a quiet moment involving a poor widow. Yet both reveal the heart of the God we follow, the God of the living. The passage begins with the Sadducees, the religious elite who denied the resurrection. They approached Jesus with a gotcha question. It's about a woman who was married 7 times to 7 brothers. They tried to make the idea of eternal life look ridiculous, reducing the grandeur of God's kingdom to a messy, legalistic puzzle. Jesus' response is profound. He doesn't get bogged down in their hypothetical trap. Instead, he elevates the conversation. He reminds them that the life to come is not a mere carbon copy of this life. In the resurrection, the old categories of ownership and status fall away. Most importantly, he quotes Moses at the burning bush, reminding them that God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. For to him, all are alive. This is the promise of Holy Week. And we're not following a martyr into a tomb. We are following the Lord of life through the grave. For God, the dead are not gone. They're held in an eternal now. Immediately after silencing his critics, Jesus shifts our gaze. He warns against the scribes, those who love long robes and greetings in the marketplaces. Yet they devour widows' houses. Then he sits by the treasury and watches the crowd. We see the wealthy dropping in large sums. It's impressive, loud, and performative. But then comes a poor widow with 2 small copper coins, 2 lepta, worth a fraction of a penny. Jesus doesn't see a small donation. He sees a total surrender. While others gave out of their abundance, she gave out of her poverty, all that she had to live on. Why does Luke place these stories together? Because they both point to the cross. In the resurrection debate, Jesus declares that God's power is greater than death. In the widow's offering, Jesus shows us what that power looks like in human form. It's sacrificial love. The widow is a living icon of Jesus himself. Within days of this moment, Jesus would not give 2 coins. He would give his very life. He would give all that he had to live on so that we might become children of the resurrection. As we prepare for the great Triduum, the great 3 days of Holy Week, we are asked to choose our posture. Will we be like the Sadducees, trying to fit God into our own logical boxes? Will we be like the scribes, seeking status while withholding our hearts? Or will we be like the widow? Holy Week invites us to trust the God of the living. It invites us to stop holding back our 2 coins, our time, our fears, our very selves, and trust that when we lose our life for his sake, we find it. The God who spoke to Moses, the God who noticed the widow, and the God who walked out of the tomb is the same God who calls you today. He's not a God of the dead. He's the God of the living. And in him, you are alive forevermore.